This podcast was brought to you by Uncle Jeep Productions. Hey guys, and welcome everyone to the Drippin' Jeep Podcast. I'm your host, Uncle Jeep, and with me is Host Drip Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On today's episode, we are talking about Zelda, The Echoes of Wisdom. And it's the new 2D game that'll be releasing as of recording in about a month. Actually, 2 months. 2 months from now. So
more than that.
2 months. It's August, isn't it? Or is it September?
September. We got like 90 days. 3 months.
We have 90 days to the release of The Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom, and we are super duper excited to talk about it tonight. We're gonna, Drip and I have watched the trailer. We have some notes that we've written down. We're gonna talk about the trailer, what we saw in it. So we're gonna speculate on some things for fun because it's fun to speculate. We also have some other things about the game as well. Stuff we know about it right now that we will get to. But first, Drip, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing okay.
It's been exactly 1 week. Exactly 1 week. So actually, no. It's been actually 8 days since the last episode that we posted. Well, not the last episode. 8 days since the Nintendo Direct, that is.
Yes. Yeah, I can't believe we waited this long to actually talk about this game. I think I've watched the trailer maybe 400 times between then and now.
Yeah, you
listen. I've got a bunch tonight. I've got a bunch.
Oh yeah.
I've got my own list. We've got our list in our little set in the podcast room here. I've got so much stuff to talk about, dude. I mean, I don't know. I'm excited about lots of stuff, but I'm very, very excited about this. Like, so excited for this game. We haven't got a 2D game in 15 years.
That's right. 2015, we had released The Legend of Zelda.
No. 2015. So how long ago was that?
That was 9 years ago.
9 years. 2015 was the last
2015,
year.
9 years ago.
9 years still. That's crazy.
A Link Between Worlds was released 9 years ago, and that game is phenomenal, and it's surprising they haven't gone back to it since. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the one was the last Mario 2D game before Wonder last year. It was a long time ago.
Oh, God. The last new one?
Yeah, it was the Wii U era. 2013 or something?
New Super Mario Bros. U.
When did that come out? Was that the same time as Link Between Worlds?
Yes, maybe. I don't know. That's a good question. It's been a long time.
Roughly the same time, give or take a couple years. So I mean, Nintendo just kind of went away from 2D for a while, I'm kind of glad they brought it back because Wonder last year was wonderful, and I'm sure Echoes of Wisdom is going to be spectacular. It's going to be full of wisdom, Drip.
It will be. Yes,
my
it
joke
will
there?
be. Sorry. I'm trying to get the trailer down here to where I can see it as well.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, there's a lot to cover tonight. But before we cover that, Drip, I do want to bring up one little thing, and that is going to be the 5-star review of the week, Drip. We do a review. We read a review, I should say, every single week. And when we read the review, that review then gets entered into a pool of names who then have the possibility of winning a $50 eShop gift card. If you guys want to win a $50 eShop gift card, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and remember to write something. Write whatever you want. You can say, these guys suck. They're the worst podcast ever. 5 stars. As long as it's 5 stars, doesn't matter. Make multiple accounts if you like. Doesn't matter. 5 stars. That's all we need. Every person who leaves a 5-star review is entered to win the gift card. We will pick that winner. I would say, Drip, we're going to pick that winner. I can actually give you a date because it's going to be when I'm at your house in July.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the 31st of July, my friends. Yes. The 31st of July.
I'm tired.
Oops. God damn it. I did it again.
You just stop hitting buttons. You hit the wrong button every time.
No, it's because number 5 is the da-da-da-da Zelda song on my other software, but you're not in my head. And I don't want to tell you to press the button when I want to press it. Anyway,
someday with AI,
I'm going to I'm going to remove I need to remove this on my soundboard and replace it back with that Zelda song. Anyway, it's going to be May, guys. Breaking news. The funny thing, I didn't even play it during May.
It's not going to be May.
It will be May at some point, Drip. Just like it's going to be 12 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock sometime. Anyway, so yes. July 31st, we're going to be revealing who wins the next gift card in person. Drip and I are going to be together doing a podcast from his humble abode.
Yeah. And wait, before we read this too, guess what? Jeeb's going to be here. And I just found out like yesterday, the day before,
Are you
that my
pressuring Mrs.
band,
Jeep?
my band is playing our first show back in 12 years. First show back in Morgantown. And Jeeb is leaving that morning.
Play the boom, 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 boom.
Do I have that one?
Yes, you do.
I do. Yeah, it's all right. It's
Drip,
fine.
I think there's enough time between now and then that Mrs. Jeep's going to realize that she doesn't want to go to her 10-year anniversary or a 10-year reunion.
Just go to the 15-year one. It's fine. It's going to be great then.
If it was me, I'd absolutely say I would skip it because listen, I hardly talk to anybody from high school. So I mean, it would be fun to reconnect, but it's hers. I don't want to force her, but I feel like we might end up still going anyway, Drip. I feel like she was just telling me today on our walk that like, man, I don't know what to do. I'm like, if you're conflicted, don't even think about it.
I mean, come on, just stay an extra night. It's gonna be badass.
It would be awesome if we could see your first show back in 12 years. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good one, man. It's gonna be good.
Let's read this 5-star review. There is no new submission this week. So because of that,
there is. It just hasn't shown up yet.
I will read one of the old ones that it was submitted. I'm gonna read the winner, the person who won the last time we did this was a couple months ago. Came from ATC, which I believe is Spartan in our community. Spartan who won. And by the way, Spartan, congratulations. But now that I can say your actual name, it was your real username. They purchased Metroid Prime Remastered with that. They told me that they purchased Metroid Prime Remastered. So enjoy that, dude. But here we go. More than just Nintendo. I love listening to Drip and Jeeb. They talk about so much more than just Nintendo, even though that was how I found them the first time. The banter is like hanging out with good friends, or with hanging out with friends, and I often find myself talking to them in my car. Great review, man. Worthy of the win there. Thank you so much for listening.
Good.
And everybody else left a review. Make sure that if you haven't left one yet, please do that. It really helps out the show. And one more thing here, Drip. Power Mad leaves us a super chat, $1.99 of pounds. Welcome to the Zelda Addiction Show. Yeah, that is correct, my friend. This is the Zelda Addiction Show.
Man. Appreciate you.
All the way over from overseas. It's like 1 a.m. in the morning. True fan right there. Thank you so much, Power Man. We super appreciate you, my dude. You've got those boulder shoulders. Shut up. Don't talk about my shoulders, man.
Yeah.
If we get to 20 likes, I'll give you guys the gun show. we'll get you. We're at 14 likes right now in the live stream. If we get to 20,
that's another thing too.
I'll give you the.
I do want to tell you guys this because I thought it was hilarious, and I mean maybe it's true. I don't know. My oldest daughter left a review because she found out there's like $50 involved, and I was like, leave a review, you'll be in. I mean, like, she's like, can you just make me win it? I was like, no, and I don't pick it anyway, so no. But she told me last night the whole reason this even came up is because she's like, listen, Dad, for real, like your podcast would be vanilla if it wasn't for Jeeb. He's funny. She said, you're not. She said, you're really funny in person, but you're not funny on the podcast. And when you try to be, you're not. That's what she told me last night. I was like, God damn.
She's absolutely.
Just punch me in the face, kid.
I'm not going to say you're not funny on the show. I mean, let's say I listen to the show more than she does. So I would say that she's not exactly correct on that. But I will say you do hold back a little bit. You need to let loose a little bit, you know? Get a little loosey-goosey like me, you know?
Do I? I don't feel like I do.
Yeah, you do. It's like how you're in your videos. You're also not funny in your videos, but like
I'm not. No, I'm not.
It's similar. I mean, it's not like your videos. It's similar to that, but you hold back a little bit, and then just fuck it, dude.
Damn.
Let it go.
Okay.
Come on. Let us. You're funny as fuck. Let us know. You're funny. Listen, he's funnier than me, guys. I am not funny. He's funnier than I am, but I appear more funny because I just let loose. I don't care. I think what it is, Drip, is I have no shame. And you think you think you have something to withhold or to hold up a reputation or something, but you act like.
Do I?
Yeah, your kid called it out, dude. It's not me saying it. Your kid called it out. Anyhow, this is the podcast.
This is the Drip Comedy Intervention episode. That's what this is. Great, wonderful, love that. On with the show.
Anyway, Drip, let's begin with some Zelda because that's all we're talking about tonight, guys. We're super excited to talk about Zelda, and the first thing we're going to talk about is what in the hell happened before the first part of that game trailer. And if you guys have seen the trailer, which at this point you should have, if you haven't seen the game trailer, it's about 5 minutes long. If you're driving, pull over. If you're not, if you've already seen it, that's what we're talking about. If you guys need to go watch that trailer before you listen to this episode, because we're going to be referring to this trailer the entire episode. So yes, I lost my train of thought, Drip. The trailer. What happened, Drip? Dude? What happened? Why? Like Link is fighting Ganon at the beginning of the game.
Okay, that's the whole thing here. And I don't know if anybody's really talking about this. Like, we have a game to play. It's with Zelda, and that's awesome. That's great. Super cool. But we are literally starting this game and this trailer at the end of a Zelda game. Like, he's fighting Ganon, saving Zelda. That's what happens at the end of a 20 to 30, 40-hour playthrough of one of these games. What the fuck happened before this? I want to know. I want to know what happened. I want the prequel to this game.
Yes, I mean, I'm
glad that Zelda's getting her own game. Like, I don't want to be, I just want to play as Link. That's not it. Like, I'm good with playing as Zelda, and I'm good with everything that this game's doing. But I'm very curious to know, like, what happened? Are we going to get any backstory? Maybe we will get backstory. Maybe there'll be flashbacks, and we'll learn things that happened in his adventure to kind of set up things that are happening now in this adventure. Because another thing you see in the beginning of this trailer is that trident or whatever he has. That's what's causing these rifts. So, I mean, there's got to be some type of backstory on that, right?
Got to be. I mean, there's got to be.
We don't necessarily know that this is what they showed was the actual beginning of the game, too. There could be something before.
That is true. We assume that the beginning fight sequence is like the beginning of the game. At least I for sure think that that's how the game will start.
I do too.
I kind of feel like you're going to open the game up, you're going to rip off the plastic, you're going to pop that cartridge in, you're going to download a 5 megabyte update because it's the Switch and there's always an update. It's modern gaming. And then after you used to boot the game up, you're going to be a Link. You're going to play directly as Link fighting Ganon. You're going to learn. It's like the difficulty of the end of the game, right at the beginning of the game. It's going to be really fun. And then that whole sequence that we just saw is exactly what's going to happen at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I think
I'm actually looking forward to that.
The beginning of the game.
I'm looking forward to that, honestly. I mean,
I think that's the beginning of the game for sure. For sure. It's got to be. But here's something I do want to point out. This is weird. Since we're in this, we're talking about the beginning of the trailer and we got Link here.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Link for a second. First thing that I noticed, one, he's got a Breath of the Wild hood.
He does.
Which is interesting. But if you look at the design on the back of it and the sword, they both have like a weird swirl design. And I'm not going like, oh, it's Zonai, but like it does kind of look like that if you look at it. But something else that I thought was very interesting, and I haven't seen anybody else talk about this. If you look at the sword in this shot that you're showing right here, do you see how on both ends it has those little like swirly things, right?
Yeah, they're like little swirly bits, yeah.
Okay, go to the cover art. Go to the cover art and look at the sword. It's different. One side is flat completely. It's a different sword.
There you go.
If you look at it, I don't know why that would be. Oh, it's definitely a different sword. If you zoom in on it, it's 100% a different sword. It's got a different hilt.
I'm going to go back and forth. Is it different?
Look, it's flat on one side. Look, it's totally different. The squares come up like this on that one.
Yeah, you're right.
And then
I want to chalk it up to...
It comes up on the side.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Okay, here we go. Here's another different. It's like, okay, the shape, I see what you're saying. It's flatter, right? But here's the other thing, too, the color. And this actually is a big difference. Of course, I'm looking at a low bitrate image zoomed in, but you guys can see if you're watching this show, I think the color of that sword is like a deep blue. Whereas the sword in this shot is very much not a deep blue. It's like the teal.
No, it's like teal, yeah.
It's like a teal blue. That's
it's a
more
different sword,
similar to like
sure.
Breath of the Wild, like Sheikah Tech color.
I know, like the color. This, like, it's just. I'm not saying that, but I mean, we do get some Sheikah stuff in this trailer, which is awesome. But I thought that was weird. That's different. We got the hood, and then he throws it off, and obviously that's what Zelda wears throughout the entire game.
Which is like the cutest thing ever. I love that.
I mean, it is. Yeah, I love that Zelda's wearing the hood for her boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, we're gonna get you, Link. Wear this hood to remind myself what I'm doing. But okay. So another thing with Link, since we're on Link, he falls in this void created by something Ganon did. Obviously, his weapon opened up these rifts. You can see it in the trailer. It happens.
Yes.
He falls in. We're going to talk about where he goes later, but I want to talk about, obviously we're going to find him. That's the the point of this game. We're going to save Link, you know, like we would normally save Zelda.
Right.
When we find him, I have a feeling, and I think you may disagree with me. I have a feeling he's gonna be a bad guy.
Now you need to go in depth on this because I don't understand.
I don't think he's
why
gonna
you think
be
that at all.
I don't think he's gonna be like, I'm bad. I think he's gonna be under some type of spell.
Okay.
Like we saw in Twilight Princess, when you literally fight. Spoiler for Twilight Princess if you haven't played it, but I mean it's like a fucking 100-year-old game at this point. You fight Zelda in the end because she's possessed. You fight her. She's like the second to last battle. I think we're going to see something like that in this, but we have to fight Link as Zelda. So there's a lot of that type of stuff happening with this game, of other things that we've seen, like Link do with Zelda. Now you're Zelda doing it with Link, or you know,
they call that a role reversal, Drip.
They do. That's what they call that. But I feel like we're probably going to see that. My reasoning is because on the cover art, him and Ganon both have like purple glow all around them up there in the top. I feel like that's significant.
So let me give you my off the cuff theory.
Look how mean he looks. Mean he looks.
I have not watched this trailer nearly as many times as you have, but kind of listening to your reasoning, I think you're onto something. I think that glow on the cover art that you're talking about is not signifying he's possessed, which I'm not saying you're wrong about that. I'm just saying I don't think he's possessed. I think what that's signifying is Link is in the dark world, or whatever it's going to be called. In A Link Between Worlds, it was called what was it called? Shit.
In A Link Between Worlds?
Yeah, what was it called? Low Roll. It was Low Roll in that game. I'll refer to it as the dark world because that kind of makes sense for this thing. It's like purpley darkness, right? So I think that represents those two guys, Ganon and Link, who fell into the dark world. That's where they're at. I think this whole game is going to be, the whole point of the game is going to be to save Link from the dark world. And I don't think he might get possessed at some point. Who knows how the game's going to end? Let's just let that be seen when it happens. They excite us. But for now, I'm going to assume that he's in the dark world. I'm not ruling out that I'm not going to rule out that Link is not a playable character also. I mean, I think besides the fact that I think he's going to be playable at the very beginning of the game, I think not only that, I think also when you get to the dark world, I think Link becomes a playable character. I really do.
Maybe.
I think it might be not necessarily 2-player like you get a co-op, but you might be able to switch. Might be able to switch between characters at will or something to that effect. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think exactly. I don't know exactly what's going to be. Obviously,
you could be right. There's going to be way more mechanics because if you look at some of the trailer shots that they have the tri-rod, which we're going to get into later. The tri-rod is set up on the D-pad.
Yes,
and there's only one thing. There's no way they would put a thing like that over on the D-pad alone. There's going to be other stuff. So maybe one of those is like, you know, on the top, if you want to switch between characters at some point while you're down there, if that's, you know, you're in that area to do it, that could be it. But I mean, speaking of down there, I mean, I feel like we should probably move to the rifts or whatever they're called, the voids. I don't know.
Sure.
What are we calling them? Do we know what they're called?
I'm going to call them both rift and void because I think they both work until we know.
Okay, cool. So I already told you my theory on what those are. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I go ahead and just say, okay, I think, I could be totally wrong. I think these things, because they're taking a lot of stuff from 3D Zelda and kind of baking it into this 2D game in a similar manner but different. I think these rifts, I think you're going to be able to go down in them. And I want to change a little bit of what I told you the other night because I've actually thought about it a little bit more.
Sure.
And I think I'm wrong on part of what I told you. I think you're going to be able to go down in these things. And I think they're going to be like certain areas, and there's going to be a place that you need to get to. Obviously, you're going to learn the echoes and be able to do things down there. But I think you can go down there, and there's going to be a certain place you go down there, and you're going to get some piece. You're going to get to a little area. You know, you step on the thing, the door opens, you get the piece, okay? Whatever that is going to be a piece of, maybe you get 3 of them. And then you put those 3 things together, and that's how you're going to get more of these little triangles behind Tri, Because if you look in the trailer, she starts out with 3, and then
now
at some point she has 4.
She has 4 right now, what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, and some of these things cost 2 or 3 to even make. If you watch later in the trailer, some of the bigger stuff.
I just saw something. Hold on. I'm not sure if you might get to it, but I just saw it, and we're gonna go over it real quick. Watch what. So that the try again. This is very visual. I apologize,
I'm
but I will.
behind.
I will.
Just tell me.
I'm going to tell you because I'm going to describe it to people who are listening as well who can't see. So right now, Zelda is walking around with Tri and her staff, and she has 4 of those triangles on her tail, if you will, behind, trailing her. Right. So now she's in that part of the trailer where she's building tables to jump up the mountain. So as she builds the tables, a triangle goes away, and then another triangle goes away, and a third triangle goes away. So every time she used the staff,
that's what I'm saying.
Another triangle disappears. So I didn't.
Well, no. It's not every time she uses it, one disappears. If you look later in the trailer, they cost a certain amount. Like the bigger, if you get a bokoblin or whatever, they cost 2.
Mm-hmm.
They don't cost 1. But then you get this big flying helicopter thing. I think it costs 3. Look. You can see that in the menu there, that what you just showed. There's 1 over all those.
Yeah.
So that is cool. I think that's how you get more. I think it's going to be like shrines in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, where you get the orbs, the spirit orbs, and then you can go turn in 4 of them for a heart container or something like that. But in this case, you're turning them in, which I think I know where you're turning them into. We'll get to that when we start talk about the map stuff. But I think you're turning those in to get more of those so you can use more things. I think at the end, Tri is going to have a tail, like a big ass tail.
You're going to need a big ass tail and try to beat the game. Yeah.
Yeah, probably, because you're probably going to need to do a bunch of different things at the same time, which is going to be cool because they're showing us just the basics of this mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine when you get certain things that'll work together, and it's such a sandbox element with all that stuff. This, it's going to be so cool. But I think that's what you do down there. Now, the thing that I want to change about what I told you the other night is I said once you go down there and get that thing, that will close the rift. I don't think these rifts are going to close ever in the game. I think they're always going to be there. It's going to be like the depths, like when you go into the depths. I think it's going to be that type of thing. I think maybe they act as barriers to get to certain parts of the map, but you have to go down there and get to a certain point, and then you can come up in another one. And that's how you get around them in the overworld. I think they're always going to be there. I think that's how they're going to separate places where you can and can't go.
Yeah, it could be a I'm not sure. That's maybe what you just kind of said, but just make sure I'm getting it right. It could be like a travel method as well to kind of get to different parts of the map. Is that what you're saying?
Well, not really like a fast travel, but that's going to be the way you would get through. So you'll get a fast travel point once you get to the other side, so you don't have to go back down through the rift, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing that they stay there the whole game, and when you go into one, you're going to go beat the stuff and go get the little thing, and then you're going to end up at another place where you can come out, and you're in a place that you haven't been yet in the map. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to get there, you're going to need certain echoes or certain items. You know what I mean? That's how they're going to block it off, for sure. I guarantee that's how they're going to do this, which makes this is fucking nuts. This is like the depths, but miniaturized in 2D.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm right. I could be totally wrong. I could be completely wrong. I don't think I am.
Could be.
But yeah, this could just be the depths in 2D, which would be crazy. And it's crazy down there because if you look closely at some of the stuff that's happening down there, it's pieces of the world that were taken down.
Yes.
So there's different little islands of land and weird shit down there, like water blocks. You get that water block echo down there.
Mm-hmm.
I think down there is where you're going to get some of the more interesting echoes to use up in the overworld too.
Well, we're talking a lot about Tri, and who the hell is Tri? I mean, let's talk about that for a second, because of course Zelda's a playable character, that's new, but also fairies aren't new to Zelda, but they are to 2D Zelda, and we haven't seen a fairy in a Zelda game in a very long time. So here we are again. Who is Tri? Like, do you have any theories of who this fairy could be? Why they're with Zelda?
I do. I know exactly. I know this too. I've watched the trailer 1,000 times.
All right,
and other people have been saying this too. But Tri, the game it has wisdom in the title, and as we know, the Triforce, Zelda's piece is the Triforce of wisdom.
That's
Courage
right.
is Link's, and what's
Power.
again power. I think Tri is basically her piece of the Triforce as as like an
embodied,
entity, like as a thing. Yeah, embodied, like the her Triforce of Wisdom embodied. I think that's what she is, and I think that's what's happening here. A lot of people have been saying that, like, oh, that might be what it is. But if you go to the trailer,
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of stuff now.
All right, well, before you say it, I want you to go to the trailer. This is what
Sure.
solidified it for me. You need to watch the scene where she's in the jail cell.
You got to give me a timestamp.
I don't know the timestamp. Hang on. We'll keep talking about it while I find it. But there's a a scene where let me look and see if I can. What you give me a timestamp?
2:13. So she's in a jail cell, which looks like it looks like a jail cell, and Tri just kind of appears out of nowhere inside the jail cell.
Yeah, I just saw that. Theory's falling through now.
Well, just give it to us anyway. Drip, just give it to us. She in the jail cell. Tri and creates this staff, and that's where Zelda gets her staff.
Okay, she doesn't look like any regular fairy. Let's go with that.
No, she doesn't.
I was gonna say I see this pause screen now. I know why I thought that. When Tri appears, there's like stuff around her.
Yes,
and it like goes out. If you pause it at the right moment, it looks like the stuff's coming from Zelda to Tri, like it came out of her head.
Well, I don't think you're. I mean, I don't know, but I mean that doesn't necessarily mean that Tri doesn't. Tri very much has something to do with Zelda. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Whether that's the case or not, I do think for sure Tri is probably a piece of Zelda, if not only the piece of the. It's not just a piece of the Triforce of Wisdom, but also of Zelda. And I'm sure
there's gonna be some backstory. With
I
that,
had a
sure.
thought of when you were talking, and by the way, these fucking characters are so goddamn cute. I'm just looking at this pause screen here.
Absolutely
the chibi style is so fucking cute. We're looking at Zelda Tri, but also the little chibi art style soldiers.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anybody who doesn't like this,
it's so cute.
Get fucked.
It's
Seriously,
so
get
cute.
Fucked.
Good
this is such a good
during
art style.
during our reaction video, which you guys definitely should go check out if you haven't seen that on our YouTube channel already. Good Lord, like I couldn't get over how cute everything was. They were like,
I'm crying. It's so cute.
And like they're so cute. Like, oh, I want to pitch her little cheeks.
My oldest watched that reaction video the other night.
Yeah.
She was like, Jeep's so funny.
Keep building me up, Drip. Anyway, my when you were talking, I kind of thought of something. Like, if Tri is a piece of the Triforce of Wisdom coming from emanating from Zelda, that means there's two other pieces of the Triforce, and those two characters who have the other two pieces of the Triforce are in the game. So, like, I mean, it's safe to assume that Tri's not the only fairy in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I bet Link has his own.
One. Ganon might have an evil one.
Ganon might have his own. I mean, maybe it's not evil. Maybe it's just like, it is what it is. And
God.
Whoever wields a piece of Triforce.
What if his trident is the evil version of the Tri-Rod?
And Link's sword.
Oh my God.
Hey, guess what? Drip? Oh, we're building something. Hey, Fi comes back. Fi comes back. Fi is the fairy inside of that sword that Link is carrying. He finds it when he falls into the void.
Ooh, that's good. Oh, that's juicy too. That's good. That would be good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's too good. They're not gonna go. That's too good.
It's Nintendo. It can't be that good. If it's too good, it's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, stop it. Okay. Either way, I got a bunch of stuff here about Fi. I have questions about.
Oh man, can we get Fi? I'm sorry. Can we get fucking Fi back? Can we get Fi back, please? That'd be so fun.
Or Tri. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think she's obviously comes from Zelda. It has something to do with the Triforce of Wisdom, the Tri-Rod. I mean, obviously that's how you're gonna do the echoes. Mm-hmm. Which is cool. We talked about the one thing. This is where I was going to get into that. We kind of already did. Just the amount of little triangles that float behind her.
Yeah.
You're getting more somehow. I think I know how. We've already talked about that. I mean, even in that little jail scene that I'm looking at right now, like I can see the tutorial without even watching it. I can see it.
Yep.
The table's right there.
The table's there. The bed is right there.
There's a bed over there on the side.
And
there's no top. You can
just
boop, boop,
get the
boop
table.
Right
here you go.
Yeah, and you're getting out that way. Now, okay, I do want to talk about a few other things in the trailer that I saw that were kind of weird before we go on to like the other stuff that we're going to talk about. one thing was the what was it? I lost my train of thought. We're gonna talk about the map. I want to talk about the map, but the okay, the fact that at some point, and this is kind of story stuff, but there's a point where you see what looks like an old Sheikah woman, which I'm going to go ahead and say is probably Impa.
1,000%. Yeah.
Fighting royal guards. Not bad guys. Fighting royal guards to help Zelda, what looks like, get out of this area she's in here. So I think we're getting Sheikah, and I think we're getting Impa. But why is she in prison in the castle? Like,
that is a really good question, and I have absolutely no response for you.
But then clearly everything's fine at some point. Like, I'm telling you, this is gonna be a good story. There's gonna be some shit happening because everything's fine at some point because we watch her walk out of the front of the castle gates with the hood, which is clearly later in the game, and those two guards are just like, "Yep, there's Zelda. Hi, Zelda. See ya."
Hey,
like,
Zelda.
hanging out. They're not like trying to hurt her or anything. And at the beginning, when she gets out of the rift, the two castle guards come up to her. You know what I mean?
Right, and they take her away.
They like kneel. Yeah. They like kneel. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so she's fine with them then. So something.
Well, I mean, hey, Drip, this is just a thought. I mean, again, we'll find out when we actually play the game. And luckily, it's right. We don't have to wait a while. This is just a few months. But, I mean, it could be something as simple as Ganon is in control now. Princess Zelda is imprisoned. Ganon is taken over. Do you really think the royal guards are going to fight? There's no Link, the leader, is dead, presumably to them.
But so is Ganon. He's gone too.
Oh, that's right. You're right. He fell in the road too.
He's gone too.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
There's got to be another bad.
Well,
there's another bad that we don't know about. Another bad guy.
Let's quickly segue into timeline because
dude, who fucking knows?
Like, is Zelda even significant? Like, this could be like pre-Skyward Sword Zelda or Skyward Sword era.
No. She is. She's Princess Zelda. She's wearing a crown.
Oh, that's right. She is wearing a crown. Man, everything gets that's why Nintendo is so good at what they do, man. Like, you have a theory, but then you get debunked because they thought of it already. So it's like, man, like what is going on here, man?
Okay. There's two thoughts that I see online right now. One, that this is in the Downfall timeline. But the problem with that is there's lots of shit that's not in the Downfall timeline.
Yeah.
Like 2 different kinds of Zoras, which is crazy.
Right.
We have the River Zoras from like Link to the Past.
Yep.
And then we've got like the Zoras that we have in, Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, whatever, Wind Waker. Not Wind Waker. Twilight Princess and Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
So that's weird that they're both there. They're literally standing in front of each other having some type of dispute, which that's going to be interesting. Either that or it could take place.
Sorry, hold on. But just going off of, once again, how fucking cute these just chibi art style is. The others, the River Zoras are kind of ugly. It's kind of their spiel. But the Zora that we know from Breath of the Wild in this game, in this chibi art style, oh my god, they're adorable.
Dude.
I mean, we need the I'm saying emojis. We need the amiibo, dude. We need all of the amiibo from this game.
We're definitely getting a Zelda one to go with the Link one that they put out with the other game.
They got to re-release. They got to re-release it, the Link, and make a new Zelda. You're absolutely right. Oh my god,
they will. I'm sure they will. Okay, but then there's also people out there saying that this could actually be after Link's Awakening.
Interesting.
Like, he came back to Hyrule, something else happened that he had to do, kind of like basically a Tears of the Kingdom type of thing, like a sequel, and that's what we didn't see. And then now this has happened, and this is after that, which I don't know.
Would make sense.
I think they're trying to break timeline stuff and move all this new shit way, way, way out so they can do different things and not have to worry about continuity with the timeline.
I honestly, I'm down either way. I'm down really either way. It just looks so good, man. The game really does.
It really does. Another few things, just random stuff, because I do want to talk about the map. I'm really interested in that. Random stuff. The Deku tree is in this. It's got a big platform that has a Triforce on it, but no pedestal for the Master Sword. And it looks like the Ocarina of Time tree as well. Based off the Ocarina of Time tree, which is interesting as well.
Could mean nothing, could mean everything. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, well, where's the Master Sword, man? Where's the Master Sword, Jeeb?
I don't know, but the Master Sword wasn't in Link's Awakening either. It was like the Koholi sword or whatever. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but that was a dream too. So, spoiler alert.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I mean the biggest thing is the fact that she's going to the Deku Tree, which, by the way, was not in A Link to the Past or A Link Between Worlds, correct?
What wasn't? The Deku Tree?
The Deku Tree.
Link to the Past or nope, there was no Deku Tree.
Okay, this is on that map. This is definitely on that map. Do you remember me saying, there's like elements of this map, but not all of it is like that? No, I looked a little closer. This is basically a one-to-one of that map, but they've expanded it out. Because if you pull up, remember that thing I told you to pull up, the art, the 16:9 art?
Yeah, the game art, yeah.
Yeah, pull that up and I'll show you something on there that's kind of interesting. And I can explain it. Now, I did think that this was just going to be like, oh, it looks like there's like pieces of different 2D maps that they've pulled from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can't see it there. It's in the end of the trailer, in that part of the trailer where they do the big pan. If you go back and look at that, though, there's the first part when she's coming across that walkway, you can see all the way to the right the Eastern Palace, which is the first dungeon. It's the first dungeon you go in A Link to the Past. You can't see it there. I don't know. You don't have the.
Uh-oh. I think we lost Drip, guys. We just lost Drip. I'm going to give this man a call. Hey, your internet went out.
Yeah, it did. The power flickered, and I'm restarting everything.
Oh, the power flicker. That's unfortunate. All right, man. Well, I guess we'll see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, just give me like, I don't know. Give me not even 5 minutes. I'm rebooting everything.
That's totally.
It's going to take a minute to turn back on, but then
Yep.
I'll be back. I didn't even realize that headphones on. It's freaking pouring the rain outside. All my cushions are out there.
Your damn cushions. Well, you got to wait. We have to wait for those.
They're getting soaked. Son of a biscuit-eating bulldog. Oh, yeah, I'm looking outside. It's pouring the rain. Holy shit.
Well,
okay, I'll be back.
All right, we'll see you in a minute, dude.
All right, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Still getting everything back. Okay. That sucked.
We're back from the GVG podcast.
Let me tell you something right now. I was about to flip the fuck out because I thought my power was about to be out again for days.
Well, let me just say for the audio people, we're getting back here. Drip's power went out in the middle when he was speaking. So however I edit this together, we're going to begin around this time here, 1:05 in my recording. So yeah,
what was I talking about?
I wish I remembered. Does somebody in the chat remember? I got completely distracted after that happened. I got worried for a second that it was me because that normally it's me. That's the issue. But
okay, I remember. I was talking about the map. Okay. So the map is basically a one-to-one of Link to the Past and Link Between Worlds.
Yep.
The Eastern Palace is where it was. That little field with the hills, that's the dirt field, is where it was. The castle's where it was. The big mountain in the back, which we're going to talk about more in a second, is exactly where it was. The Lost Woods, I thought that they had taken out. I thought the Lost Woods was gone.
So it's not. Where is it?
It's there. It's in the same exact place. Because if you look, Death Mountain is behind it. A volcano. Like the volcano version of Death Mountain. The newer version of Death Mountain. Death Mountain used to be, in those games, it was that big mountain on the other side. But Death Mountain, the volcano, I think we're going to see Gorons. I think we're going to see these little toy Gorons.
Toy to life Goron. Oh, not toy to life, but that chibi style, art style Gorons.
Yeah, I think so. I really think so.
Well, dude,
I think they're going to be over there on the new Death Mountain.
I mean, hell yeah.
There's a village. You can see it right there.
There's
and then the woods below.
There's like a village on Death Mountain, like on the way up from Death Mountain.
Yeah. Who lives there?
The Gorons, dude. We're gonna see chibi style Gorons.
Exactly. And the Lost Woods are still there. So this is basically, from what I'm seeing, this is basically the Link to the Past map expanded. Because if you look at where she's standing, if you look at the overhead view of the map of that, she's standing in a place you can stand. There may be more behind her. because it's clearly expanded that way. I think they're expanding it in some other ways too. But you can see the Eastern Palace, which is the very first dungeon you play in A Link to the Past.
Yep.
It's in this, and like even down to the statues and everything. Like it's the same. It's the same.
Well, Drip,
So that's the map
speaking
we're
of A Link to the Past and being the same map, which is interesting. We'll talk about that, if that could be a good thing or a bad thing later. But, I mean, listen, does that not confirm the whole idea of there being a low rule? Or, you know what I mean? Like
See, I don't know. Because
that was a part of that game as well. And,
and it was a part of A Link Between Worlds, too.
Yes.
A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. We had low rule.
The Dark World. And
then in the dark world was in, I mean, maybe, but we have that. We have like whatever these new things are, the depths, the new depths, the 2D depths. Yeah, I mean, it could be the same thing. It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense if we're going back to that. That's weird. Everybody's bitching about going back to the same map. This will be time number 3 that we're on this same map.
Is it the same map, though, if it is, number 1, updated, and number 2, expanded upon? I mean, is that the same map?
No, I mean, I'm fine with it.
Because I'm looking at this map here on my screen, and it looks similar because the art style is similar, but it's not necessarily the same map. It is bare bones, maybe, but it's not like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where I mean, it's literally copy paste with just hey, this place has more rubble because something is fell here. But no, this is like a very updated.
Okay. But it's still the same map. Like if you're like, go to the Eastern Palace, and you walk to the Eastern Palace in a Link to the Past, and you walk to the Eastern Palace in this game, you're going to take the same way to get there. Things are going to look similar on the way.
What I'm saying, maybe, but what I'm saying is it being expanded means that the ratios are all different now. It's a bigger map. So ratio, it's not like it's those two games. It basically was like the same left turn, right turn, up, down, left, down. You know what I mean? Whereas now it could be expanded and the ratios are different to where and also, by the way, who's to say this is a linear game at all? I mean, just because it's 2D doesn't mean it's linear. It could also be completely different where you can go in any direction. It's I
can tell you right now.
It could be more like a 3D map than a 2D map.
I can tell you right now, I guarantee there's going to be options. Like I said, I think there are going to be places that are shut off and you need to go down in to do the thing underneath the world to get to that new place. But I don't think there's going to be anything stopping you from picking whichever one you want to do.
Because again,
I think that's just going to be the block. And if you want to go try that one first, that's it. I think you're 100% right about that. I think the days of fully linear Zelda stories are probably a thing of the past. So I don't think we're ever going to see that again.
Again, I bring up this same picture of Zelda, the Breath of the Wild scene, if you will, in the trailer where Zelda's standing on the hill looking out. I look at this and I go, I get it's a 2D top-down game, but this is not going to be a quote-unquote traditional 2D game. This is a 3D idea. It's an open world, like not open like Breath of the Wild is open. Like that game is truly open. This is open in the sense that there are no directions. There is in the Link to the Past. What was that game called? A Link Awakening. In the Link's Awakening remake, that was a left, right, up, down map. That was the way the map. That's the way. But I'm saying I don't think this game is going to be like that. And like for example, in Link's Awakening. Well, okay, there wasn't a loading screens. It just took a second to load. In Link's Awakening, it loaded up, down, left, right. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Like it loaded that way. It loaded in when you went up, the whole screen moved up. When you went left, the whole screen went left. There was no loading. It just kind of like quickly popped in.
It went with him. Yeah.
In this game, I don't think we're getting that. I don't think we're getting the.
You think it's going to be like an updated version?
It's just going to be slowly scrolling. In fact, I wonder if we could just watch more of the trailer.
I thought that's what happened in Link's Awakening too.
No. When he went to certain
issues, I wonder if there's going to be frame rate issues like Link's Awakening had in this.
In my reaction live, there was a stutter. I think that stutter was either my eyes playing a trick on me, a very minor stutter that doesn't mean anything because there was like particle effects, or my internet. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think we can guarantee there will be frame rate. There will be some points where it dips. I actually recently replayed I finally finished A Link to the what the hell is the game called? Link's Awakening. I finished that the Switch remake.
I'm glad you finally finished it. What do you think?
It's very good. It's a great game, dude. It's a great game. It's frustrating because the Zelda dungeons frustrate me. That's a conversation for another day. But as far as right now, I did beat the last 2 dungeons to finally beat the game for the first time. I had a great time. There are frame rate issues, but I think I was right on when I explained it like last week or so. Like 75% of the time, it's running 60. Like 75, like that's majority. That's the good majority of the game. But there is like 25% of times where like, all right, it's stuttering a little bit. It's a little bit of stutter here. I think we can expect similar performance in this one. And I don't think it's a problem. I missed her frame rate.
It's fine.
Everyone thinks I'm like the frame rate Nazi, but trust me.
You are.
I'm not.
You are the frame rate Nazi.
I'm not. But trust me, this is going to be just fine. If 75% is more than acceptable. Like it's going to be good. It's going to be a great experience. I think they're going to make this. And this is the second time that Grezzo is getting an opportunity to do this. They're going to do a better job this time than last time. They learned a lot of things when they did it the first time, and they're going to use that experience to make even a better game this time. So.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get into some of that stuff, kind of comparing this to the last 2D, the actual the new 2D game that we got. But one more thing on the map.
Sure.
As I said, the actual Death Mountain that we know from today with the lava coming out of the top is in the map.
Right.
And that is on one side. And now the big mountain that used to be called in those old games that was called Death Mountain is still there. But it's got one difference, and I don't know if everybody noticed it, but it's got snow on it.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
It's got snow all over it, which is not something that was up there before, but in my head, I think I go Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Is that like the Hebrew Mountains up there?
Wait, hold on. Where's the snow in Death Mountain?
You have to find the art. And the art you have is not the big expanded art. I need to find the big expanded art. But it shows the tops of those mountains with snow on them.
Oh, it's not Death Mountain. It's the other mountains.
Yes, the other one. Yeah, the one that used to be Death Mountain.
Yeah, I have that. That is what's here. The other mountains have snow. I thought you said Death Mountain had snow on it.
No, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Maybe I just misheard you. But
the old Death Mountain. Yeah, there's snow up there.
Yeah, there's snow on these mountains.
Yeah, it's
to
like
the right
Hebra
of Death Mountain
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that's
right? Like that's super cool. That's a
super cool.
That's a whole new way to look at. Like they've added one thing. Like okay, that's not Death Mountain anymore. That's a whole new mountain range. We'll leave it, but we're gonna drop this mountain over here. Another thing that's in this game is we still have the desert. It's probably gonna be down in the corner, just like it was. We don't know that for sure, but we have the Gerudo in this game.
Oh yeah,
they're there.
Where did you see
them? We
them?
see one of them. We see one of them when she's hopping the beds.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about that too. I told you about this. This is the hop in the beds that something popped up, and we're gonna talk about that. Let me see. I'm trying to find. Go to. Oh, mother 3. Give me a second. It's getting there. 306.
306. What's happening in 306, Drip?
Okay. So she's hopping these beds, and we're gonna talk about the bed thing in a second. But I just want to talk. We're in the desert here. This was not here. In the desert and those other games, there's not a lot going on in the desert. It's just a bunch of stuff and then a bunch of bad guys. And then
yep. Haha, I found it.
Yeah. Yeah, you see?
Did not see that before.
Right there.
Uh-huh.
Yes. The Gerudo are in this game. Now, this is what I'm confused about this whole thing, too, because she's sneaking in. One, she's a female. She should be allowed in there. I know males aren't allowed in, but that's usually our problem. We play these games because we play as a male. She's a female. She should be allowed in. Plus, she's the princess. Oh, why is she sneaking in?
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know.
Well, okay, is she sneaking in, or is the entrance blocked or whatever, something simple like that?
Yeah, maybe. Again, it could be that. But that's not the weirdest thing about this that I saw. The weirdest part of all this is if you back up to go to 309.
All right.
That's where I can definitely see it.
That's forward, my friend. Oh, that's backwards. Okay.
Yeah, go back up. Back up.
309. All right, 309.
I don't see it. You got to back up more. Right before she does what she's doing right there.
Oh, yeah, it's the sleep, right? You're going to.
Do you see it says press A to rest?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
My head goes like several different places here. One thing, we don't use beds to rest in 2D games.
No.
Because let's go back. What happens when you use a bed or sit by a fire to rest in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, G? What happens?
Well, you pass time, and that is either from morning to night, night to morning, afternoon to evening. You know, the passage of time. Also, if it's raining and you want it to stop raining, typically if you sleep, it's a good chance it might stop raining.
Right. So I'm wondering, which it could be a lot simpler explanation, but I want to bring this up. What if there is a day and night cycle and a weather cycle in this game, in a 2D Zelda game for the first time ever?
I think we're guaranteed to have that.
Like, how cool would that be if they really went far in and like gave us whatever? It doesn't even have to be weather, just a day and night cycle with different things happening day, night,
the weather.
evening,
Listen, if you enter the Gerudo, it's going to get super hot. If you enter the Hebra Mountains, which hopefully that's what that is in the game, it's going to start snowing.
Get cold, yeah.
Like if you enter Death Mountain, it's going to get hazy. If the forest
and
is
I'm
going to.
not even hard up for the weather, but the time of day, like day and night.
There's going to, and also just FYI, I'm not sure if we really talked about it. It's worth mentioning. Again, looking at this screenshot, this is the screenshot where she's jumping in the beds right before the Gerudo. There's a map, bottom right of your screen. There is a circular world map, which is not a thing in 2D Zelda games. Now you can press the menu button to see where you're at in the menu, but this is a
you're right. I don't know if you can pull it up in Link's Awakening or not.
But
I don't know, but you're right. No, it's nice to have that.
You can you can see the map, the world map on Link's Awakening, and you can even zoom in. Yeah, right. If you go in the menu, you can even zoom in. This is on the game screen, permanent, like just attached on the game screen, bottom right corner, like just like Breath of the Wild, a circular map. And that's new for 2D Zelda. It's just another example of how this 2D Zelda ain't gonna be your grandmother's 2D Zelda.
Oh no! Well, I mean, my God, look at the inventory system of the echoes.
Yeah,
that is straight pulled from Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
straight up, all of it. How you picked what you got, like it is all pulled from Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
which is great. I mean, it's amazing. There was something. There are side-scrolly 2D sections in this game too, like Link's Awakening had, which I do appreciate.
That's fun.
That's pretty cool.
That's always fun.
I think that's very cool. There was something else that I wanted to bring up, and I can't remember what it was. You were talking, and it has completely left my brain. Oh, there it is. Okay, I need you to go to. I need you to go to 247. I'm sorry, 246.
All right, what's there?
You remember earlier how I told you there's going to be places to take those little shards or whatever it is you get to get your new triangles?
Yes.
Look up in the top there, along the row of 4 trees, that weird looking brown cactus thing with the yellow lights on it.
I see that. I do.
I think that is either where you go to get these things, or those are the fast travel places.
That's an interesting
idea. And they may be both. They may be both.
They might be both. Because that's, that might be both. Yeah, I think you're right.
Because look, that one is lit up yellow. And if you look on, as you were just talking about, the mini map down in the bottom, that thing's on the mini map.
There's a cactus right there.
It's on the map. So it's clearly important. It's on the map. So it's used for something. My guess is either fast travel or to go turn in whatever you get down there to get your extra echo points. I don't know what they're going to be called. Echo points. They're echo points. They're definitely.
I think they're going to be called echoes.
Sure. That's what they're called. Either way, if you look at the beginning, when we get our Breath of the Wild moment there, you can see another one of those things on an island, but the yellow glowy stuff is not lit up. So these are going to have to be activated, which means my guess is the fast travel thing is a guarantee. You see it right there on the island?
Sure.
Yeah, it's there. You're looking at it.
I believe it's somewhere.
In the very corner of the screen.
Yeah, but anyway, that is interesting.
Yeah, I think those are the travel points, but I think they're going to serve as like the goddess statues.
We can turn in your echoes to receive a heart or something. I don't know.
No, well, their heart pieces out in the world.
Yeah, there'll be heart pieces.
So the hearts aren't going to be there. I think that's where you specifically get these things.
Yeah,
and it may not be that place. if you go back to the dungeon scene, and this is kind of reaching because it's kind of in a place where it's like that would not be a thing. It's just kind of in the background as seen. But there is a goddess statue in the scene where Impa is taking out those guards in the background. There's a goddess statue right behind her. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. You could go turn them in there, the goddess statue. Maybe not. Maybe so. I don't know. Lots of different things going on with all that stuff.
Oh, I found
but the map is definitely reused.
I finally found this. I was looking for it earlier. The Great Deku Tree. Yeah, there's no sword there, but there's a spot for where it should be. Like there's no hole. There's
a platform, but look in the middle. There's no pedestal.
Right. There's no pedestal. There's a platform and no pedestal.
I wonder if he's gonna open his mouth and you go in and there's a 2D Deku Tree dungeon, like Ocarina of Time, but like it's 2D. That'd be so
Come on, dude. Come on.
Open your mouth, please.
Let me in.
Yeah, that would be cool.
The sword's inside me, Link. Come receive.
Oh God, dude.
Whoops, didn't mean to get that dirty. Man.
And I know another thing before we kind of go into like the rest of this other stuff. One thing you said, and we kind of touched on it before. If you look on this entire trailer, any of the gameplay on the D-pad, we have one thing, and it's just the tri-rod. We're gonna get more stuff. There's gonna be more mechanics to this game. I would imagine we're probably gonna see another one or another two of them the next time they show us this game.
Yeah, I mean,
I think this is just the beginning.
That's one of the things that I thought was really negative about this game. The only thing I thought there was a negative when I saw this trailer was I get that it's kind of tired. Like they want to change up the formula a little bit for 2D, and the fact that there's the Zelda's playable character now and not Link. They want to make sure that there's a new experience. That's their whole thing, make a new experience. So they didn't just want regular sword play, and I get that. However, that doesn't mean that there can't be hand-to-hand combat.
I agree.
And listen, the staff's gonna be awesome, but that's not gonna satisfy my combat needs. Like when I play a Zelda game, I don't want combat, and typically when there's combat, you want hand-to-hand combat, and I think it's kind of silly that the only thing you could do so far that we know of is just you can throw a bed down or you can copy another enemy and they'll fight for you. I don't want that. I want the staff to emanate light or beams of energy, and she can shoot the beams of energy at enemies. Not the sword, but it's similar. And I want a version of that. If we don't get a version of that, I'll be a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we're gonna get some. I think we're gonna get more of a actual hand-to-hand combat type of thing too, not just let's figure it out and put. Either that or we're going to get some type of echo that's going to be the one where it's like, this is the one we use for that type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe you can make an echo of a sword.
Maybe.
I don't know. But that's probably not. But I'm sure there's going to be something. I'm sure they're not just going to have this. I don't know. We have a lot more to see. That's the thing. We've done a lot of content on this already. We've got one tiny trailer. And I want to talk about this too.
Sure.
Because you told me this and I find this very interesting. This entire game, even though we know there's stuff underneath, we know there's stuff like the map is pretty big, looks big. It's a 6 gigabyte game.
Now at this point, I can't remember where I saw that. So I'm not even going to say 100% confidence that that's right. I believe that information has already been put out there, that this game is 6 gigabytes. And that, again, I believe is a similar file size. I'd check right now if I had my Switch with me. I believe that's a similar file size to what Link's Awakening is, the remake. So that's not a small game. That's a pretty decent sized game. And this is going to be even bigger, I think. So I don't know. The 6 gigabyte tells me that it's not necessarily like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, which are 15 and 17 gig games. This is a third of that. But it's also
clearly it's not going to be that
top-down
size
style
of a
game.
Yeah.
It's also a top-down style game, and those games, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, are absolutely gigantic. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. And this is a
massive.
lot more of a controlled environment. Even though it is kind of a sandbox type of thing, this is definitely more of a controlled environment.
And
so
it's
you don't have
not,
to have a lot of that stuff,
especially on
running in the
Switch.
background.
Especially on Switch, all the games on Switch. It's not like more gigs means huge, like guaranteed. For example, Tears of the Kingdom is literally twice the game in Breath of the Wild. There is a second map, a whole second map underneath the big original map.
Well, not to mention the other half a map in the sky.
Not to mention that, and the game's only a couple gigabytes bigger than the original game. So that doesn't mean, just because like this game's 6 gigs and Link's Awakening 6 gigs, doesn't mean that this game is not significantly bigger map size alone than Link's Awakening 2. So the map size doesn't really tell us a whole lot, but it tells us something. That it's 6 gigs, and we'll take that and go with it.
Yeah, I mean it's wonderful. I love that.
I had a crazy theory, Drip. I don't think I'm right. I don't think I'm right about it. After it was yesterday's theory today, I don't think I'm right. What if the champions are in this game?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you did say that. I think you're dreaming on that one. Yeah, I like the idea of that.
I like where my head was at yesterday. I just don't.
I like the idea of seeing that happen in this game. I just don't see it being that plausible. Maybe not those champions though. Maybe like you do have someone from, like, that's the thing about this too. We don't even know what other we know we're gonna see Zora.
Yeah.
I have a very strong feeling looking at Death Mountain and the fact that there's some type of village right underneath it. We're probably gonna see Gorons.
Yeah.
But we don't know about the Rito. We haven't seen them. We have no idea if they're even gonna be in the game. Where would they be?
Oh, that's a good point. I thought we saw everybody.
Oh my God, I know where they're going to be. They're going to be up on that fucking snowy mountain. That's exactly where they're going to be. That's why it's snowy. Oh my God.
It's the Rito.
That's why it's snowy now.
It's not Hebrew Mountains. It's the Rito. Or is that where they're at? Are they on the Hebrew Mountains? I can't remember.
That whole area was snowed in and had the whole thing in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. So that still could be them. We don't see their characters in the game, but we also don't see the Gorons either, but we can pretty much assume the Gorons are in the game. I mean, there's a village on Death Mountain.
Yeah, who the hell's living
who's
there?
living there? Clearly. It's the Gorons, man. So if we see those snowy mountains, I think it's pretty safe to assume it could be them. However, Drip, I'll say this.
It could be.
Usually Death Mountain's on the right, and looking at the front of Hyrule Castle, Death Mountain's on the right, Heber's on the left. So
yeah, but it doesn't have to go 1-to-1.
I know, but that's switched. But it's the opposite though. The Death Mountain was on the left of the castle in this game, and Heber's on the right, presumably Heber. So we know that's Death Mountain, but we don't know if that's Heber. We don't know that the Zero. We don't know. But here's the thing: we saw Gerudo and we saw Zora. So I mean, come on, man. If we saw the Gerudo and we saw the Zora and we know that there's Gorons. There has to be Rito in this game too. Has to be.
I think so. I mean, I think that is why there's so many different things. That's why it's so hard to put this on the timeline, because there's so many different things from different timeline splits. I don't know. It's wild. It's wild.
Well, dude, one more question we have here.
Okay.
It's the title of this episode. Will this be the best Zelda game of all time?
No.
Boom, 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 boom.
It will not be the best Zelda game of all time. It may be the best 2D Zelda game of all time.
I would take that. I would take that.
Maybe even not the best 2D Zelda game.
Because you're going to make a lot of people mad if you say that.
Okay. The only reason I say that is because this is clearly this is going to be a different experience because we're playing as a completely different character. But if you take clearly what they're doing here, all this stuff that they're doing and incorporating into a 2D style game for Zelda, if you take that back and then give us back Link and a sword and, give me like a regular Ganon story with all this shit in there too.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Like the way you're setting up for 2D Zelda going forward is like this is that Breath of the Wild moment for 2D Zeldas right here. This is it. This is happening.
Yeah, we're going to go from
seeing stuff
not
in this
seeing
game.
a 2D Zelda for 9 years to like we expect one every 3 years now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this is going to be that game. This is going to be the Breath of the Wild of the 2D Zeldas for sure.
Oh, dude.
You can see it with everything we've already seen. Just the amount of ideas that they've brought to this, the way that they've. I mean, and let's talk about it. 9 years ago, we got A Link Between Worlds on this pretty much the same map. And the big thing was you could be a painting on the wall, which was a cool thing. And it took you into different like little warp zones to go into low rule, right? That's how you got to low rule.
Yep.
That's cool. I thought that was cool. But that compared to just what we saw in this trailer is nothing. Like, this is insane for a 2D Zelda. This is crazy. And I don't even think we really know half of what we're actually going to see in this game right now. We don't even, I mean, we can see some of the things, make some ideas, some speculations, but this is going to be nuts, man. This is going to be crazy.
I agree. And I want to bring up here, too, that Jeff, our guest last week, Jeff, if you guys didn't see last week's episode, go see that. Jeff said, technically, it's the only Zelda game of all time. So it will be the best Zelda game of all time.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good one, Jeff. Yeah, man, I just can't wait to play this game. I feel like we're going to do at least another podcast or two about this game before it releases. We're too excited.
Another trailer.
We're too excited not to. Are we? That's actually a question, Drip. Are we going to get another trailer? I feel like we're not going to.
Oh, hell yeah.
You really? I mean,
yes.
Promotional. We'll definitely get like a 30-second, 1 minute promotional one.
I think we're going to get another trailer that's going to show us more of the stuff that we don't know about. I think that D-pad thing, I'm telling you, I think that's huge. The fact that there's only one thing on that D-pad. I've said this to you. I think I've said it earlier on the podcast. I can't remember. They don't put shit on a D-pad like that unless there's more stuff over there.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's not even on the top button. So it's not like, oh, it's on the top button and you use the other two to like scroll. No, it's on the side.
Press the right D-pad to use the staff. Use the press up in the D-pad for your bow and go left in the D-pad for your weapon.
There's going to be more. I can tell you right now, there's going to be more. I think we'll get another trailer. Yes. To answer your question, yes, I think we're going to get another trailer. I think that's what they're going to show us in that trailer is the rest of the mechanics of this game. Because as cool as the Echoes thing is, I don't think that's it. I think that's the main one, but I think there's more.
That this game has a chance to be among the best Zelda games. I really do. I really do. I mean, I listen, we all loved you in this community, especially. We loved our Tears of the Kingdom, but
we did.
It was highly scrutinized in many different ways, and no doubting this, the hype came and it fell like a ton of bricks. There's no denying it. It's just the fact of what happened. Even for me, I admit that now. Miss Jeeve and I were talking the other day. She's like, "I want to replay the game," and I'm like, I don't really want to anymore.
I kind of do too, actually. Now that I've been away from it for a minute.
I had that feeling as well. Recently on stream, like a month ago, I restarted my playthrough as well, and I had that itch, and I did, and I played about 5 hours, 10 hours of a replay. But then it gets old again. Like,
because we've done that. We did that exact same thing for a full game for how many years?
And then again with the Tears of the Kingdom.
And then again, yeah.
So like again. I said, I'll pick it back up. But like I just picked it back up the other day just to try. And like I'm like, the magic's gone. It doesn't mean I won't find it again for Tears of the Kingdom.
It's fair.
That magic after 1 year is gone. That's not the case. With Breath of the Wild. With Breath of the Wild, that magic lasted years. Yeah. Tears of the Kingdom lasted months. And honestly, there's just no denying that.
With Tears of the Kingdom, the hype was more of the fun than the game. I mean, the game was great.
Agreed.
Beating the game, getting through the game, the end. I cried. It was great.
Agreed.
Wonderful. Loved the ending. Loved the story. Breath of the Wild we went back to. I mean, how many times? Yeah. How many nights was I streaming Breath of the Wild doing random shit? Just random shit.
Me too, man. Me too.
Amiibo drops. We just drop amiibos like we're out here gambling. Like, come on, like whatever. So it was fun. Though.
I say all that to say, Link Between Worlds is one of my favorite Zelda games. Honestly, I think for me now this is my list. It's also the most 3 recent Zelda games there is, so that has something to do with it, I'm sure. But it's just how I feel. It's my opinion. My top 3 in no particular order are Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Link Between Worlds. That's just my top 3 Zeldas.
Okay.
I don't see why not. And there's a 2D game right in there. I don't see why not. This game could just get smudged right at the top of that list. I don't see why not. It looks so good, man.
I think I don't have a 2D game in my top 3.
Yeah.
I've actually have not.
And those who don't know,
my top 3 are Twilight Princess, Tears of the Kingdom, and Wind Waker.
Yeah.
A close 4th and 5th are probably Ocarina of Time. And then my 2D that's in my top 5 would be A Link Between Worlds and A Link to the Past. I put them together as one game because they share a map and they're very similar, but I love both of those games. Maybe I could just lump this in with those and it could just be in the top 5 right there because it has the same map.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I've only fully played through a handful of Zelda games, like start to finish, and I've mostly beaten almost all of them except for a lot of the 2D ones. So
yeah,
you have played more of them than I have, especially finished them. So I'm not like the best judge of like if it's on top of my list doesn't necessarily mean it's like widely represented as the top. But just again,
it's a great game.
This is the Drip and Jeeb podcast. So for as far as Jeeb's opinion, those are my top 3 Zelda games, and this one could be right there at the top.
I think it could be too. Let me ask you one question before we get finished up here.
Sure.
Is this the game of the year? Is this going to win game of the year?
It's game of the year.
Is it going to win game of the year? I think it might.
Oh my God, dude! We talked about this off stream a few times with a few people. I mean, the actually, did we talked about it last week with Jeff too? I think we might have.
We mentioned it.
Yeah.
I think this could literally be game of the year. Nothing's coming out this year. This is going to be a very innovative Zelda game we've never seen before. We're very impressed with what we got so far. Like I said, there's going to be more. There's going to be more.
Drip.
There's not a lot of competition.
I will say this, Drip. This game could easily be game of the year, just like the Celtics were the NBA champions this year because nobody showed up.
Yeah, my boy. Hey, Mountain. Hey, listen. Not only let's give it up for the Celtics. Give it up for the Celtics first off.
No,
but my
let's
boy,
not do that.
My boy, Joe Mazzulla.
You mean the weirdest person? You mean the weirdest man to ever grace a basketball court? That man.
Joe Mazzulla.
Have you listened to an interview of his? He's a psychopath, dude. He murders people for fun outside of basketball. That's his hobby. Murder.
He doesn't.
He's Ted Bundy. It's Joe Bundy. He's Ted Bundy, man.
He's Joe Bundy. No, he's not. He's great.
He's Joe Bundy. Joe Mazzulla.
Dude, he was on our Final Four teams. He's a
psychopath. He's a psychopath.
He's not. Hey, give it up for my boy Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics. Anyway, yeah, just like that. This game could just not have much competition, be a really, really solid game, and win game of the year.
Yep. And listen, I'll take it. I'll take wins. I mean, just like the Celtics will take this one. They'll be like, oh, look at us. We're so good. They'll take this fucking win. And they'll be like, yeah, we're so good.
Let me ask you,
Zelda's gonna take
answer
this
the
win
question.
too.
Yes? Game of the year?
On June 26th, 2024, for the Game of the Year award in the year 2024, Uncle Jeeb selects. No, the draft sound, man. I played the draft sound. It's the draft, man. Uncle Jeeb selects The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom as the Game of the Year.
I don't know. We'll see. There's other stuff that's going to come
competing?
out. I mean, I know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I mean, Sony's already thrown in the towel. They've already said, don't expect much from us this year. They said it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got that Astrobot game. That looks good. That looks good.
It does look really good.
I don't think that's game of the year.
I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see when the reviews come out.
And then, I mean, I don't know what Microsoft has coming out this year. They announced a bunch of stuff. I mean, they got Fable and all that. That's not coming out this year, is it?
This game has Zelda Echoes of Wisdom has a chance to really bring the hype of Zelda like real good. And that includes enough hype for the Game Awards. My only fear is that it's going to be too far removed from the awards, just a few months out. I wonder if something's going to drop sooner than that. That's just going to take the hype away. But we
thought that would happen with Spider-Man too.
We did. I really thought that.
It didn't. I said Spider-Man's going to be game of the year because of when it comes out. I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. We are going to stick around. If you're in the stream, don't forget, don't leave. We're going to be hanging out for that show for a few minutes. If you're listening to this podcast on audio feeds or watching the YouTube VOD, we thank you guys for enjoying this episode. We ask you to write a 5-star review. Make sure to check out Drip on his YouTube channel. He posts videos every single week, and I edit them. You can check me out on my Twitch channel where I stream lots of days a week. Make sure to go over there. The links are down below for all of our shenanigans, including our Discord, where our community hangs out, as well as our Twitter, where I post stuff for the podcast sometimes. Drip. Last words?
Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom DLC is the entire adventure that Link went on before this game. and it ends at the beginning of this game.
It'll be a $60 game with $60 DLC. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.